Your reaction?
Well, I think we're moving closer. Obviously, if we'd have been under the old rules, we'd have been back together and playing. I just appreciate the effort that our people making to try to put this thing back together and making compromises. I'm hoping that as we move forward over the course of this next year, we'll be able to come to some more clear understanding so that we can work together. I thought the stricter recruiting violation rules were a step in the right direction, if that's what the big issue is. I'm not sure that's the only issue, but I think that at least we have eliminated that one. Hopefully, we're going to continue to make progress. I think we're better together than we are separated. I think it's better for our student athletes, both male and female. The events that we put on, I think, are better when we put them on together, united. So I'm hopeful.
But what happens if we're in the same spot again next year, which is a real possibility?
Well, I'm going to say I'm hopeful next year, I guess. Ed, I don't want to see our organization divide. We're divided enough, and I just hope that maybe as new blood comes in, that the old regime passes away, that maybe some of the newer guys will feel a little more attuned to us joining ourselves back together into one solid unit. We got such a strong athletic environment in Louisiana anyway. I mean, you can see that in our national recruiting with the colleges, and I don't want to see that watered down, or I don't want to see that broken up, and I'm hopeful that we'll continue to make progress in that direction.
So is this more of a North Louisiana problem than a South Louisiana
Well, it
problem?
appears that way. It appears that it's more of above Alexandria and up problem, and I thought the sentiments that were brought to the microphone today were pretty obvious. But again, I think they need to sit down maybe together in that area of the state with all those principals and try to work through that problem so that we don't divide ourselves.
Are you in favor of going back to the Dome next year?
Look, every kid that is in the state of Louisiana that puts on a football helmet wants to play in the Louisiana Superdome. They all think they're going to be Drew Brees, and I get that. So yes, I would love to play in the Superdome next year. But the bottom line is we'll have to take that one step at a time and see where they allow us to put ourselves both as a group and financially can we afford to do that.
Rummel and Catholic made a lot of money not doing that, right?
Well, they did. There's no question. There's more money to be made when you do it separately, and that was evident through this year. But again, I think if you ask those kids from Catholic, you ask those kids from Rummel, they would have loved the opportunity to run under that goalpost in the Louisiana Superdome. Might be their only opportunity in their entire life, and for 99% of them, that's what it would be.
So what is the legislation that can change this? What's the magic wording that can change all of this?
Oh, I think if we could get ourselves together in smaller groups, and we alluded to it a minute ago, if we could get ourselves into the North Louisiana principals to sit down and communicate what the difficulties are and work them out, and the same thing in our area. If we have a problem, let's sit down and work them out so when we get here, we are united, at least with a chance to make this thing work. I think it's becoming more and more divisional. And I think that's more and more evident. We'll see when the votes come out, because you will know the schools that voted for and you'll know the schools that voted against. And if it is very sectional, then I think there's a possibility that we could work in that direction.